Thank you very much, Auntie Chi. Thank you for having me here, and good afternoon to everybody. I want to salute the whole team for putting this together. I believe that this event is going to be greatly impactful. Okay, so I'll just go straight in because I just have like 30 minutes or less. So
yes,
today I'm talking about mentorship as an indispensable tool and purposeful creativity. It was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam who said something really striking. He said that when learning is purposeful, creativity blossoms. When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. And when thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. When knowledge is fully lit, the economy flourishes. So one thing leads to the other. And Sir Isaac Newton said something phenomenal too. He said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing upon the shoulder of giants." So without solid guidance in life and great counsel, anyone could run in many fruitless directions. A sage once said that in the absence of great advisors, a plan would fail, it would go awry. So this afternoon, my topic is simple. I've stated it already: mentorship, an indispensable tool and purposeful creativity. Mentorship is a very pressing concern, and it also creates a powerful opportunity to make an impact once a person understands the need for mentorship as an essential tool for success, for creativity, for innovation. So when a diamond, for instance, is found in its raw state, it is dull, it is dirty, it is unattractive, with no shine at all. When it is heated up, all that dirt is burnt, then it is sharpened and it is polished. So this is what mentorship does to anybody. Mentorship helps to polish the gift on the inside of the person, and it exposes them to their possibilities. I want us all to think back to our childhood. Did you have a special person in your life who did things with you, who gave you advice, or the person was a good listener? This person may have been a relative, this person may have been a friend of the family who was maybe older than you. It could have been a parent as well. So if you had any of these things, if you can answer to any of these questions that I'm asking, then you had a mentor. Mentors help to develop the strengths of a child. They help to, they share a child's interest. I had an auntie who was, she was a teacher, and she was somebody who had a whole lot of books. And because I love to read, I shared that interest with her. And she gave me access to her library. I read a lot of things from her. So mentors help share a child's interest. They offer advice and support. They give praise. They listen. They befriend a child. Mentors help children to reach their full potential, which includes the mistakes they make, the tears, the successes, and the smiles. Mentors know that small failures often precede major successes in life. Knowing this fact, they encourage children to keep trying because those successes are right around the corner. Now, the home, in my own estimation, should provide a young person's first experience with mentoring. That is the foundation. Parents are supposed to be children's first mentors, and they provide solid roots and an anchor that will give them the wings to fly. Every other form of mentorship, whether it is in the public places, religious places of worship, whether it's in the schools, and later on in the workplace, arises from this initial informal mentoring foundation that had been laid at home. So unlike what obtained in the past, many parents in this generation have given up on their mentorship roles in the lives of their children. Parents are supposed to guide children in the development of their character, their values, their sense of purpose, their sense of right and wrong. Now, back in the day, parents had full confidence in their moral authority, and they brought up children collaboratively with the school and other responsible extended family members and friends. Africa was a communal society, and anyone was free to correct or discipline a child. It didn't matter if that child was theirs or not. Parents saw school as their allies in developing a well-rounded person. But this is not quite the case today. Unfortunately, there's been a gradual and subtle shift And today, high priority has been given to academic achievements, to getting high grades at whatever cost, to the detriment of developing a wholesome person with a strong character. If you ask a typical young person today, why do you want to get into a good university? This is what you are likely to hear typically: to get better grades. And you ask why, to get into a better maybe university. And you ask why, to get a better job. Why? To make more money. Why? To be happy. So in our world today, the emphasis on academic and material achievements for young people has affected the development of children, particularly undermining the child's critical mentors, who are the parents. So why am I saying all this? Please stay with me. I'm laying a foundation for what I want to say. Let me explain. No parent wants their child to lag behind in a bid to get into a great school and that will guarantee them a great future. And this is okay. But out of this same fear that their children might be behind in this race, because there are all sorts of competitions out there in the society, parents unwittingly fall into the achievement value system trap. And it's not a strange thing for parents to challenge teachers or the school's authority, just to ensure that they protect, enhance, or support their child's performance at school. There was a time when character, a sense of right and wrong, mattered greatly. But today, the emphasis is so much on academic and material achievement that many parents are willing to pay for high marks, and many schools are ready to cut corners to ensure that the high marks are maintained. This has led to a largely characterless educational system that has encouraged widespread cheating. Like many children in Nigeria today, my children are doing school online due to the outbreak of the insidious coronavirus. So a few days ago, they were writing tests, and I strolled to where they sat on the dining table to watch them for some minutes. And I said to them, I hope you're not checking your notes for answers. Their horrified screams of "Mommy" made me laugh, because we've taken the pains to instill the values of honesty and integrity. And they know our stand as parents. Of course, I knew they will not do that. But we are mentor parents, and I had to remind them again. So by supporting this sort of system, which values academic proficiency and material things over individuality, parents end up valuing children for what they can do, not for who they are. I'll never forget a memory of my late father watching me as I studied for my JAM exams. And he said something to me that whatever grades my siblings and I come out with in school, he could proudly beat his chest and tell anyone it was purely by the efforts we had put in. So we had this foundational mentorship at home. So without wanting to sound cliched, I can say that every child is uniquely gifted. Today's educational system might seek to put something into the child. Schools have academic mentors, they have guidance counselors and all of that, but it is the primary role of the parents to draw out the uniqueness of their children. This sensitivity reassures a child that he or she does not only have a protector and a provider, but also a mentor, the source of a deep bond of parent-child trust. Now, a child cannot see in himself what a parent sees in them. Growing up, I think that one of the best things I had was my parents' belief in me and my capabilities, and always they emphasized character first over every other thing. Parental mentorship is great, and it gives the child their first experience of a mentoring relationship. But beyond that, young children want and need adults other than their parents to be a good ear, a sounding board, and a role model as they leave home, graduate from school, get into careers, and into the world of work. So this enables them to thrive. Behind every productive life, there is mentorship. No matter how dysfunctional it may be, mentorship fast tracks your value. When you submit to mentorship, you submit to quick discovery. Pride is one enemy of mentorship. It takes humility for one to submit to the guidance and counsel that comes from another person. Mentorship is wisdom without the pain, because a mentor has already trod that path that you want to walk. He or she is better able to direct you on how to avoid the potholes on the way. So when you refuse mentorship, you prolong your pain, and it is guaranteed that you will stumble into potholes that could have been avoided if you had been mentored. Without mentorship, the pain is guaranteed. So always, always, it's good for one to ensure that they seek mentorship as they navigate the challenges of life. Mentoring requires an investment of time and patience and a willingness to support and encourage the learner, typically called the mentee. The mentee is deemed to be the learner, but in all truth, all strong mentorships are mutually rewarding. They are mutually rewarding experiences wherein both parties interact meaningfully and respectfully with one another. They learn and they derive benefits. So why would anyone want to become a mentor? Not only is it important to give back, but it feels good to do it. A mentoring relationship is filled with learning opportunities for both mentor and mentee. Yes, it does take time and it requires a high level of commitment when you're starting out. However, the benefits of helping someone by sharing your knowledge and experiences greatly outweigh the effort it takes. Being a mentor can help you to re-engage with your skills, find a new sense of direction or purpose. You can also learn through teaching, being asked questions by the mentee. This requires that the mentor communicates effectively concepts and knowledge so that they can comprehend and use them. So the relationship which exists between someone who has limited knowledge in a particular field of pursuit and desires the knowledge that comes from the expertise of another person who is more experienced, which in turn leads to a transfer of knowledge from one to the other, is what could be described as mentoring. Mentoring is a process in which an experienced individual helps another person develop his or her goals and skills through a series of time-limited, confidential, one-on-one conversations, if it is in a formal mentoring situation, and other learning activities. So mentors also draw benefits from the mentoring relationship as well. I've said so much about mentoring and so far, and nearly everyone hears and talks about all the time about mentoring or needing it, but sometimes it's unclear what being a mentor means precisely, or what the process of mentoring entails. Is it the same as training? Is it the same as teaching? Is it the same as advising? Is being a mentor the same thing as being a good role model? Are these all labels for the same thing? I've read several accounts about the origin of the term mentor. The Wikipedia account states that the word mentor itself was inspired by the character of someone called Mentor in Homer's Odyssey. I'm an English graduate, so I did a lot of literature. So when Odysseus left for the Trojan War, he asked Mentor, an elderly friend, to serve as a counselor to his son Telemachus. Thus, Mentor's name has passed into our language as a shorthand term for a wise and trusted teacher or counselor. This is how the Webster Dictionary defines it. There's a need for mentorship and its accompanying value in different areas of life, different arenas of life. And Wikipedia gives a list. I'm going to state examples from there of some globally successful people who benefited from having mentors. These mentors help them to advance their careers, leverage on their social network, and so on. For instance, a man called Freddie Laker mentored Richard Branson, the famous entrepreneur of the Virgin Airlines brand. And in politics, we've all heard of Aristotle. He was mentored by Alexander the Great. We've all heard about Johann Bach, the musician. He was mentored by Mozart. So it's obvious that mentoring happens in a variety of fields. And this concept has expanded beyond someone who has been there, done that, and all of that, who draws on his or her own experience to guide the younger, less experienced person. But in some cases, a mentor could be a professional training in coaching, who is guiding and advising people who are pursuing a wide range of goals and careers. So as part of this new expanded view of what mentoring as coaching, one can find a list of a lot of mentoring quotes from a wide range of people that we've read about, like Churchill, Gandhi, Maya Angelou. She's somebody that I love to read her a lot. Les Brown, a lot of them. We have our own Wole Soyinka, we have the Chinua Achebes of this life that we can read what they left behind. So that can be used to motivate a mentee. And some long distance mentors who can mentor from afar, because now in this era we have the e-mentoring experience where you can be mentored virtually. Mentorship answers a lot of difficult questions, because a lot of times people get into certain activities, they waste a lot of quality time because they refuse to be mentored. A mentor is not your friend in the sense of a friend. He or she is somebody who is going in a particular direction. So mentorship is almost like a symbiotic relationship, because both the mentee and the mentor need each other. So when you ride on a mentor's back, he or she sees what you are not seeing and is able to help you discover where you should be, because you are able to get there. I mean, guide you to get to where you want to be. So it causes you to discover you, and the mentor is able to get you to places where you have never been. The mentor is the one that is doing the giving, the mentee is doing the receiving. And when you're submitting to a mentor, you submit to a purpose. When you pick a mentor, you pick one purposefully. You do not just see anybody you like on the streets and say that you want this person to mentor you. It has to be in line with purpose. And you should not advise your mentor. That's a lot of mistake that people do. They want to advise their mentors. If you feel you have outgrown a mentor, then it is time to please move on, to avoid challenges. But it doesn't stop you from honoring that mentor even after you have moved on. Mentorship allows you to shorten the process when it comes to the achievement of your purpose and goals in life. Mentorship is also focused on a particular sector. So a mentor would be one in the area of finance and might not necessarily be a mentor in the area of family and relationship, or in the area of business and career. So it's always important to know that mentorship has to do with purpose, what you want to achieve. What could take you, let's say, 10 years to achieve could be shortened to 5 years or less, because the mentor has gone through that path before and will help you out in going through it as well. Like I said before, a mentor is not your friend, neither is he or she a coach. Although these roles overlap sometimes, there's a role model, there's a mentor, there's a coach. And a role model is somebody you would want to be like or aspire to be like. That person may not be necessarily close by. He or she could be someone maybe you watch on TV, whose attributes you admire and you want to emulate or so. A coach is somebody who you see and you relate with, you talk with. So the responsibility of that coach is to hold your hand and guide you. The coach does not allow you to see the pain. The coach shows you where and where to go, spends time with you, and creates and builds a relationship with you where he or she helps you to identify your goals and develop actionable plans to help you achieve those goals. A mentor is not like that. A mentor is somebody who is on a route already. The mentor is on a target already. So when you come into a mentor space and you want to get into that space, what can make that mentor stop in their tracks is if you are adding value. If you're not adding value to what a mentor is doing, he or she may not have your time. A mentor will not sit down and wait for you. A mentor stops as a result of the quality of questions that you ask. That means that you have to do your homework first, then you come back and ask the mentor questions, and they'll respond to you by the quality of questions that you ask. So from what I've said so far, I can say in a brief that a mentor is an experienced and trained advisor, a person who demonstrates positive attitude towards you, a person who is willing to share skills, knowledge, and expertise with you, a positive role model, a person who has an interest in a mentoring relationship with you and provides you with guidance and positive feedback. He is someone who has earned your respect and that of many others. A mentor is a consultant. You can call a mentor a cheerleader who listens, who provides constructive criticism, who supports and facilitates networking experiences, shares knowledge, offers assistance where needed, and teaches by example. Growing children and adults need someone, or they need persons of positive influence in their lives whom they can look up to and emulate. Do you have a mentor in your life? At this point, this is a question that you may need to ask. Or are you running around like a headless chicken? Some mistakes in life are avoidable if only you seek guidance and counsel. So it is important for you to understand that the role of a mentor has some limitations. Yeah, a mentor is not a parent, and they cannot and should not take over that role. regardless of the difficulties in the home life of the mentee. They are not a parent. A mentor is not somebody who knows it all. And no one can walk in your shoe. Nobody can understand you like you know yourself. No one has a monopoly on knowledge. It is only God who does. So when you understand this, when you have this as a background, it will also help you as the mentee and also help the mentor as well, so that the mentee does not lose confidence, in the mentor, and the mentor does not ruin the mentee's life by ineffective advice. A mentor does not know it all. A mentor is not a coach, because like I've explained before, coaching involves having an end goal or a target which needs to be achieved, whereas mentoring is directed by the needs of the young person, and these needs can change. And a mentor is not a tutor. A mentor should only offer help and resources, but only if the mentee wants it. And I'm not talking about money. A mentor is not a provider. A mentor has an important role to play in the life of a mentee, but she is not, or he is not, a source of financial support. If your motive for seeking out mentorship is to target someone to ask for financial aid, then it's a wrong motive for seeking mentorship. If asked, a lot of mentors may be able to help find other resources for support and even serve as advocates. But taking on the role of a direct financial supporter or support can seriously jeopardize the mentor and mentee relationship. So a mentor is not a savior. Neither is he or she a source of salvation or enrichment or betterment. So goals come only after a relationship has been established, and they will differ with each person depending on that person's goal. For one young person, a positive relationship with a mentor may inspire them to want to go further in their academic pursuits, maybe become a doctor, for instance, if that's what they want, or find a productive career goal. For another, it may simply give them the comfort, of knowing that there has been one source of support in their life. And just having that feeling alone can have a powerful impact. So mentorship is very important, especially during the transitionary phase where a young person is just emerging from the adolescent years into adulthood. It could be really confusing at this time, because that young person has some sort of a semi-autonomy, if you will. They are no longer adolescents, but at the same time, they are not quite adults yet. So these are the post-adolescent years where young people are not quite handling adult responsibilities, as they still have lots of support from parents who are maybe still giving them money, still paying for their house rent, still paying for a lot of their basic needs. But at the same time, they are pursuing different careers and life options. So this transitionary phase can be smoother with the aid of an experienced and trusted mentor. So coaching and mentoring play an important role in guiding young people to develop their emotional intelligence, and it helps them to acquire useful habits that can aid productivity. So I'll be rounding up in the next few minutes. So if for most of us, when you look back on your childhood and reflect on how much parents, teachers, or friends influence your values, your beliefs, or your reaction, it makes you realize the benefits of mentorship. So directly or indirectly, their feedback helps to shine some light on your path by the way they model life to you. It helps you to greatly understand how to forge a pathway for yourself. So when it hits you that your interpersonal abilities were not developed or cannot be developed without the help of others, it opens the door to mentorship or coaching. So thank you very much for having me here, and I believe that the rest of the event is going to be really powerful and impactful. Thank you. I appreciate this time.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. That was amazing. I mean, Ma, I hope you're not leaving anytime soon, because we've been talking about mentorship, and we know a lot of our young people, a lot of people here have questions, regarding mentorship or whatever, that's they're looking for someone to maybe, answer those questions.
Yeah.
And so help us stick around to take some of these questions. And if you have questions, feel free to start sending via the chat. We will get them across to her. But we have some questions here already. We'll start by asking.
Okay, just before I ask the questions, please, I'm sure I'm talking about the participants now. You've gained a lot of value. You have nuggets. You've written down a lot of things. Please, we need you to share this on your social media platform with our hashtags. Our hashtags are hashtag UN75 and hashtag IYD2020. Okay, so please just do us the pleasure. I'm sure you're getting a lot of value already. Now,
talk about nuggets. Yeah, you know what nuggets, the things you have gotten from the first speakers down to
the fourth speaker now. So we need you to share them. Okay, now to these questions. I'm sure a lot of young people have a lot of questions when it comes to mentorship, because mentorship is something like is a dicey situation for some people. Because I love what you said. You said your mentor is not your provider. That is one of the mistakes a lot of young people do. They come into a mentorship relationship and they're like, your mentor is your father, your mother, so whenever you need help, you just go to your mentor. And that is what shoots a lot of mentors away. So one person is actually asking a very important question here, and he said, how can I be a productive mentee to my mentor? Mom,
Okay.
did you get the question?
Yeah, I heard that. Okay, in order for you to be a productive mentee to your mentor, I believe that one of the first foundation, like I said, is for you to identify the purpose why you're going into that mentorship relationship. Because if you, like a wise person once said, I think it was Dr. Miles Monroe, he said that where purpose is not defined, abuse is inevitable. So it's important, first of all, to identify your purpose, the reason why you want that mentoring. So when you're able to identify your why, it will also help you to be able to conduct yourself in that relationship with your mentor. And also, like I said, I mentioned it at some point, that you do not go into a mentoring relationship and you want to advise your mentor. Because if you already know more than your mentor, then you don't need that mentor anymore. It's better for you to just move on. That's the mistake that a lot of people, young people make. You want to advise your mentor. No, there's something wrong with that picture. And it's also important that you respect your mentor, and also what the value that they are sharing with you is also important to appreciate them. There's an African proverb that says something really profound. It's not, I'll just say it to apply it a little to what I want to explain. That when a young child washes their hands well, they'll be able to dine with elders. I don't know how many people have heard that proverb. Because for me, I've had the benefits of informal mentorship from people who were way higher than I am. And one of the things that I have seen in my life, right from when I was a teenager, is that I've always had these informal mentoring relationships with people who are way older, way more accomplished, people who are where I already want to be. And that relationship up till today, that I've also come into my own as an adult in my own right, I still have those relationships with them because I know how to draw the boundaries. So when you start blurring the lines in your mentoring relationship, then it's going to cause a problem. So for you to be able to have value as a mentee, you need to understand these basics. You need to be ready to be teachable, because if you are a know-it-all, then there's no point seeking for mentorship. So I think these are the most important underlying principles for you to understand, and then know where you are going. What do you want to achieve? Because if you want to excel as a budding entrepreneur, for instance, and then you go and meet a mentor who is into family life and coaching, then there's something wrong. That's not quite a smart move, because that's not the person's area of specialization. Because somebody who is a family life coach, for instance, may not necessarily know how to coach you in the area of business. So you need to identify purpose, identify what you want, in order to be able to identify the right person for you to approach for that mentoring relationship. So with these basics in place, I believe that you would have an excellent mentee relationship with your mentor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, man. Another thing, you also said that we should have different mentors for different fields. Now, someone is asking, is there any limit to the number of mentors one should have?
I think there's no black and white rule when it comes to this. Because what I've just said, I think effectively answers that question. If there are certain things you want to achieve, then you identify a mentor in that area and go for it. If maybe, for instance, you're grappling with how to understand how to run your finances, you identify a mentor who is excellent in that area. You can have as many mentors as you want, depending on the areas you want to go into. So I don't think there's any black and white rule that says you can only have one mentor for everything. That would not be realistic.
Okay, I have just one more question. And I think this is a problem for a lot of young people. You know, we already know that it's wrong to enter, let's just say e-mentorship, to go to maybe a certain thought leader and send a message and say, please mentor me, mentor me, mentor me. So now I'm sure a lot of people want to know, how can I get some of these people I look up to, my role models, to mentor me without necessarily coming to the DM and always telling them, mentor me, ma, mentor me, sir, I love what you're doing. How can we get them to notice us and to even want to be our mentor, not the other way around?
Okay. There are two types of mentorship. There's, when the topic of mentoring comes up, a lot of people think that it has to be a formal relationship with monthly meetings, career-oriented assignments, and all of that. And some participants, both the mentees and the mentors, may even feel intimidated by such an arrangement. I strongly believe in the power of mentoring, and I prefer an informal mentoring process, which is what I have done throughout my life. The informal mentoring process could happen, is a natural component of relationships that occur throughout the society, maybe in the workplace, maybe in the social or professional field, in family activities. So informal mentoring occurs in a relationship between two people where one gains insights and knowledge and support from the person. Now, if you're going into the online space, one of the things that I will say what has worked for me, because I have a lot of fantastic people who are way above me, who know better, that I can look up to, that I've connected with on the social media space. And one is because of how I conduct myself online. When you go into their space, maybe they've posted something and you start dropping reasonable comments, and it helps them to notice you. There are some young people that feel that because they are behind a keyboard and nobody is seeing them, you can be unruly online and behave like a hooligan. But if you conduct yourself respectfully, you go into their space and you begin to engage meaningfully, then it will help them to notice you fast. So you first of all create that relationship where they see your comments all the time and you can progress from there. I worked in the media sector for a while after I finished youth service, and a lot of the interviews that I got them through connecting with people in the social media space. That was how we first connected and we began to relate, and that relationship metamorphosed. So I that's just one key advice that has worked for me that I would give, that your conduct online would attract the people that you're trying to catch their eyes. And even when you have to send a message to them, it is the way it's the way you channel it, is the way you approach it that will determine if they are going to respond to you or not. Personally, there's nobody that I've wanted to reach on the social media space who is active, except that person is not active at all in that space, that I've not been able to reach out to, even while I was still in the media sector. So it's important, your manner of approach, the way you write what you want to write, and your engagements matter if you want to connect with these people. Because if you come across as somebody who is a pest, like a lot of people, you see messages in your DM, you see hi, and then the person says nothing. The next thing you hear hello, and all of that. Instead of just going straight to the point and presenting what you want to say, the person comes across as a pest that you would rather ignore. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. Someone asked, what are the things you should look out for in picking a mentor? I think that's in a particular field. I think that's going to be the last question for you, Mark.
Okay. When you want to pick out a mentor, of course, you have to pick out a mentor who is, like I said, mentorship is according to purpose. whose purpose is in line. You've seen this person has achieved the things that you want to achieve, and you know that they have the expertise in that particular area that you are gunning for. So that's one of the things that you want to watch out. And it's also important that when you're picking a mentor, you also check their values. It's important, because if you have somebody mentoring you who is a thief, for instance, in no time you become the biggest thief, because there's a transfer that is happening. When the mentor-mentee relationship is happening, there's a transfer of values. There's a transfer of spirits, if you will, because we are also spiritual beings. So you have to watch out for somebody who has the values, and you know that you can engage, you know that these values are values that you can emulate, because it's important. So you choose your mentor based on purpose, based on the values, based on the expertise that they have. You know, you look at them, they are where you are going, and you desire to be in that place. You know that they have what it takes to guide you into that place that you desire to be. So you pick a mentor based on that. You don't pick a mentor because their face is beautiful or they look handsome, or you don't pick a mentor because you think, oh, these ones, they have a lot of money and will probably bail me out and all of that. So you don't pick a mentor based on that. I've said a lot of that in my presentation already. So you pick based on value, you pick based on purpose, you pick a mentor based on the expertise that they have to offer. And mentors have a lot of things that they can help you to achieve. They can see the areas that you need to improve, which you yourself may not see. It was a movie maker that said something, that mentors have a way of seeing more of our faults that we would like, and it's the only way that we can grow. So they provide you with the information and the knowledge that you need to grow. They have a way of stimulating your personal and professional growth. So when you look at all these indices, you look at these indicators, then you can go for it. You can go for the mentoring relationship. Some mentoring relationships are structured. There's a mentoring program, you get into it, you're paired with a mentor and all of that, but a lot of it is informal.